What's up, gamers? It's Golden12 here, back with another Zenless Zone Zero video, and today I'm going to be talking about the gear in this game, how to unlock it and all that stuff, because, I'm sure a lot of people are confused. They're going through the game right now and they're like, wait, how do I get Bangboos? How do I get the relics unlocked? Well, we're going to talk about that. So, number one thing is, for the Bangboos, the earliest you can unlock the Bangboos is level 16. Now, I did have a couple people in my chat unlock it after me, but right now, as far as I know, the earliest you can unlock it is 16 because I was doing legit everything and, at a slow pace. And the way you unlock it is after you unlock the first in-game mode called Hollow Zero, right? So as soon as you hit the 16, it completes the chapter 1, right? The first chapter in the game, right? After you complete all that, towards the end of it, right, you're going to get a bunch of side quests. You want to do all those side quests until the game triggers an event to go and talk to the people on the Shiryu Defense Force, right? It's over here. Sorry, the Scout Outpost. You'll get an event triggered that tells you to go to Scout Outpost. And then you'll talk to a few vendors and you'll unlock the Hollow Zero mode. At least the initial stage. Once you clear that initial stage, there will be another thing where you talk to a couple other vendors, and then you have access to the Bangboo banner to start summoning. Now, I've already summoned on this a lot. I've got my S rank already, and now I'm going for another one. So, just wanted to point that out. By the time you get to this point in the game, you'll get you'll get a decent amount of Bangboo Boopons, right? And you'll get more for progressing through your levels, which you're gonna need to progress through your levels for the next thing, right? So now that you know how to unlock the Bangboo banner, and actually before I move on, once you do unlock it, you also unlock the Bangboo shop, so you're able to go and view all your other Bangboos and upgrade them and all that stuff, right? And you also do actually get more Boopons for upgrading them, so that's pretty cool. Just like characters, right? It's sort of its own system within the game, so that's pretty cool. But again, past that, once you unlock that, you're gonna need to keep progressing the game all the way up until level 26. Now, there's a pretty decent gap in between there, right? It might take you a day to get there. If you're grinding the content consistently, you can, but you're definitely gonna have to spend a bit of your stamina to actually get up to this rank, right? By this point in the game, you should start spending your stamina for your character talents and whatnot, right? But once you hit level 26, you'll be given a commission by the dude that sits at the coffee shop. I forget his name. He's not there right now. I think it's Shepard, if I'm not mistaken. But he'll give you a commission. Once you complete that commission, right, you're gonna unlock rally commissions, right? It's a different combat event or a different combat stage, and let me actually go walk over to it. Yeah, so once you complete that commission or are given that commission from, the guy, you'll unlock rally commissions, and you need to, from my understanding, complete the first one of these. I'm not sure if you have to exactly, but once I completed it, right, and it was pretty tough, right? These are designed levels. It's not randomized or anything like that. It's designed levels, and you have to go walk around and grab all the chests, right? There's some extra hidden rewards inside the actual mode. Once you do that, upon finishing that and talking to a few other people, a lot of talking to NPCs, you'll unlock the ability to go and actually roll for disk drives, right? Now, that's not the best way of getting them, and I'll explain that in a second, but the mission first tells you to come over here, you talk to this. So once you talk to your little disk drive thing outside, you'll realize you're right there to get the relics. You do that, you go back over to the defense place, right? Back to the zone, the outpost. And then you come back here, talk to the disk drive lady, and can unlock disk drives, right? And you can roll for disk drives. Again, I'll get to that in a second, but that's basically what happens there. Before that, though, when you go back to the defense outpost, you actually unlock what I think will be the best way to grind for these disk drives, right? That's going to be the routine cleanup. So this is going to be a new mode that's unlocked, and this is effectively the same thing as Genshin artifact domains or your domains in Honkai Star Rail where you farm relics, right? Now it is pretty expensive in terms of a energy cost. It's 60, which is pretty high, and you'll be farming your various sets of relics this way. This is how you'll get them, right? And so as you can see here, the different relics have different assigned domains. for them. I'm not going to go over each one of them right now. I'm going to talk about the Relic 6 in a second, but this is going to be the best way to farm it. I don't know how many you get per run right now, but in the future, this is definitely going to be the intended way of getting it, because the other way of getting it through the shop functions a bit differently. All right, time to talk about upgrades before I get into the disk drives. Bangboo Upgrades. Bangboo Upgrades are pretty simple. They use their own system. You're going to be using dupes of other Bangboos to increase their core levels and their other multipliers, stuff like that. Get more bonuses. You're going to be leveling up the Bangboos with their own level up currency that you'll acquire through the modes you get them. So like Hollow Zero and Sheer Your Defense, you'll get materials for this stuff, as well as other materials to grind for, right? There's a shop within both modes. You'll see it once you get there. That shop, you use the special currency for that specific shop from that mode. So like there's a Hollow Zero shop, you use the Hollow Zero currency for that shop, right? You use the Sheer Defense currency for the Sheer Defense shop, right? And that's where we'll be able to get materials for the Bangboos and level them up. And so that system's sort of contained within itself. You can't really get the Bangboo materials anywhere else. And so that's where you're going to be grinding to upgrade these guys primarily. And so that's the Bangboos. Pretty short, simple, nothing too crazy there. Now for the disk drives, this one is pretty different and a bit more complex, because the way you get the materials and stuff for this next system, it's pretty interesting, and I'm not sure how it's going to play out long term, but I do actually have a gear set for everybody. And the thing you got to keep in mind, if you don't know yet, there's actually 6 relics, and you can do a 4-piece and a 2-piece for every single character in the game, right? It's RNG as which relics you'll get. You know, you can't pick a specific slot, even though that'd be huge. You can't pick a specific slot, and so it's entirely possible that you can roll for relics in this game and get all slot 1s, right? And you're just kind of shafted in that regard. So that's a bit annoying. But yeah, that being said, this shop has 3 different levels of tuning, right? And what is tuning? Tuning is re-rolling for more I'm calling them relics, but they're called disk drives, so just bear with me. But tuning is re-rolling for disk drives, and the way you are able to re-roll for disk drives is by getting these materials down here, which is audio boosters, right? There's multiple tiers of audio boosters. There's B ranks, A ranks, and S rank audio boosters. As you can see, I don't have the other tiers unlocked because I'm not a higher level yet. And the reason why this is important is because this means you're actually able to spend whatever low tier audio boosters you have on the beginner tuning, because this is your only way of actually getting disk drives for those characters, right? The corresponding levels are, you know, in here depending on your rank. It's going to be rank, I believe, 35 or 36, and then rank 40 for the 2 other tiers of relic tuning, right? And the way you get these actual audio boosters are from dismantling more relics. So as you can see here, I got the spare one. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to dismantle. It's going to give me XP and a single booster, right? So every 5 dismantled blues is going to turn into 1 more dismantled blue that you can re-roll from this vendor right here. And so the rate, pretty sparse. Whenever I came into the first time doing this from actually playing the game, I had about 120, I'd say, or something like that, of these, because not because I was deleting anything, but because the game gave me some to use. And so I was able to re-roll for, you know, a whole set of relics, and it gives you 10, by the way. So it's, you know, 1-to-5 ratio. And so it's pretty easy to, I'd say, to get a set, but it's going to be harder to actually get the gear, like the specific stat slot that you want, right? Because so far I've gotten 0 slot 6s, which is insane, and I just want 1 slot 6 for each character. But that's generally how this is going to work. The more you level up, the more tuning options you're going to unlock, right? 36, 40. And you'll be able to correspondingly get the higher tier relics, dismantle the higher tier relics, and then re-roll into more relics, right? So yeah, similar system to sort of like Honkai Impact's, you know, relic converter, right, where it's 10-to-1, but instead this is a 5-to-1. So this is going to play out a bit differently. I'm interested to see what, you know, the further options are, but we can actually already look at all of the relics that we're able to acquire. And so I'll do that now because I've explained all the systems. Isn't that surprising, right? We're not too long. It's already 10 minutes into the video, but you guys now know how to unlock all the relics do everything, and how the rerolls work, right? It's simple. You press the button, it rerolls. Also, for clarification, dismantling the higher ranks, A ranks will give you the higher rank material, as you can see here. I have 6 of them, however, I'm not able to do the higher level tuning. So if you were to dismantle S ranks, you would get the S rank material for the higher level tuning. Alright, now that I've already talked about the systems, how to unlock them and all that, we're going to talk about which ones you're hunting for. Now, I know a lot of people are like, wait, you're jumping back and forth between the two. Exactly. Maybe I could have formatted it better. It is what it is. Besides the point. For the Bangboos, there's actually going to be a wide variety of Bangboos, and I think most of them are viable. I don't think, however, if you're going to ask straight out the gate, the one I would say is not worth it is the Revolver one. The reason is because their primary ability is complete RNG. I wouldn't rely on RNG, even if it's on an assist ally. Sure, it would be doing large damage. However, it's much more reliable for you to play into your team's strengths. For example, I have actually went and acquired the Shark one because the Shark one helps with building up an Ice Anomaly. Now, overall, Ice Anomaly is really strong, so this, even without an Ice team, can still function if you can proc it. I have yet to actually get an Ice proc, however, with him after using him for a while, so that's here nor there. But given he's on an Ice team with 2 other Ice characters, he'll get a lot more anomaly build up via, the Bangboo chain attack. So again, it's going to be from player to player which this is effective in, and it's going to be, matter more in the modes where it's like you lose one teammate and so you have to use the Bangboo as a chain attack. So like it's again, it's going to be here or there. But again, these, like, at least this Bangboo is going to provide that build up, which will make like Ellen Joe, for example, and her team just that more effective. So that's pretty important. There is the Plug Boo. This one, again, I think is also very good for electric teams. It's going to be the same thing as the Ice one, where it just helps you with build up. So with Grace, it's going to be like you're doubling up on anomaly build up, which is pretty cool. Now, I actually don't know if that's the way to go because of the way stats scale, because I'm pretty sure you would technically be doing less damage if you let the Bangboo proc anomaly instead of Grace proc it.
You know where to find me.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I honestly don't know how it works at this moment. I'm still learning the system myself because anomaly characters are weird, right? They scale completely differently. But you understand, right? This is going to help with your electric DPS. The Aether one, of course, is going to help with your Aether DPS characters, which we don't have yet, but we'll get one. And, corresponding. So we've got the one for fire, which again is going to help with fire anomaly build-up. We have the safety Bangboo, which is going to help with fizz build-up. But the thing with this one is that this one's actually going to give you increased chain attack damage for burning and shocked enemies, right? So if you use this Bangboo with with an anomaly character, they'll get extra damage. That can be pretty nice. Or if you just happen to proc that anomaly. And then, of course, there's the one for the cunning hares, which is going to give you a machine gun, and it's going to do a lot of damage, right? This is arguably the best one DPS wise, to be honest with you, because if you run 2 cunning hares, it will just boost the damage of its chain attack, right? So that one's pretty solid, all things considered, as well as, giving you just a straight up machine gun to fire on the enemies, right? I think it's pretty cool. And then arguably the best one to pull for is the Butler. The Butler, in my opinion, is like an S tier option because it works everywhere and it just doubles its effectiveness with Victoria housekeeping characters, which are currently the strongest characters in the game, right? So its first ability gives you energy whenever it activates its skill, right? Which is huge because more energy is more EX specials you can get off. And then second ability is whenever there's 2 or more Victoria housekeeping characters, you generate an additional 20% energy, which is, again, massive because that just means Victoria housekeeping characters can proc more EX skills, right? So again, this is an insane ability, and overall I think the Butler is probably the best one to pick out of the Bangboos. So yeah, that covers Bangboos and gearing options. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You pick the one for your select team, and the Butler I think is the best one for general use if you're like, oh yeah, I just want to power up everything, right? So yeah, you can of course collect whichever Bangboo you want. It's guaranteed. I would just highly recommend pulling like the Shark one, for example. That's going to help you with certain anomalies, or the Butler, who's just overall helpful, right? So I would definitely suggest that in terms of Bangboos. So coming off the closed beta test, they sort of simplified the number of drives and everything. So as you can see here, there's currently in the game only this set of drives. There are no other sets of drives. And so I'm going to use Pridewin as a source here so that we can actually pull this up and look at them all on the site. So the drive situation is a bit weird because, as I said, you can get two of a set. You can do 3 2-pieces or a 4-piece and a 2-piece, right? In my opinion, the meta pick for a lot of these characters is actually going to be the crit set for all of them, and then 2-piece or damage bonus, right? It's going to depend on which character that is, though. Specifically for like Nekomata, I think that's going to be the way to go because the additional ability of the 4-piece isn't so helpful on her. That's a whole nother thing. But as for your relics, and I probably should make this a whole video where it's like gearing every character. I want to kind of include that in this video, but it's already getting long enough. The TLDR is that the higher rank you go, right, the more higher relics you'll get, and each character can get different relics and which ones you're going to want to gear. So for ether characters, of course, you got the ether damage bonus one that also gives you crit damage, and whenever you trigger corruption, you get additional crit damage up to 55 or 5.5% for 8 seconds, and it stacks up 6 times. This caps out at a 53% bonus, so that's including this 20%. So this is a huge increase for any Aether DPS, and it's probably going to be Zhu Wan's best in slot set for a 4-piece, and then you're going to 2-piece the crit rate one because, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you don't want to use the 4-piece or you can't get a good 4-piece and you only want to guarantee the 2 slots, so like slot 1 and 2, which is going to be HP and attack, right? Which, let me actually pull that up. That's probably going to be useful information. Slot 1 and 2 are HP and attack, right? So, of course, the slots, right? You've got your 3 standardized slots, which is going to be slot 1, 2, and 3, HP, attack, and defense, respectively. And then, as you can see here, slot 4 is going to be attack, defense, HP, crit rate, crit damage, anomaly proficiency. Slot 5 is HP, attack, defense, pin ratio, elemental damage percent, which is going to be the hardest one because that is a lot of rolls right there. And then slot 6 is HP, attack, defense, anomaly mastery, energy regen, or impact percent, right? This slot 6 is going to be huge for a lot of characters, and it's going to be one of the most important slots, right? Energy recharge is huge. Attack is obviously where you get your damage from, and impact percent is going to matter a lot for all of your stunners, right? So you're going to be looking for probably energy recharge or impact for most characters, and then attack for all your DPS characters, right? Pretty much how it goes. But yeah, put simply, these sets are pretty powerful, as you can tell, but they're not all made equal. So the physical one is obviously phys damage percent, but whenever you inflict assault, the equipper gets 35% increased damage for 12 seconds. Now, there's not the best variety of assault or physical characters at the minute. Right now, we've got Nekomata, we have Piper, and I believe that's it, actually. Everybody else is an element. Oh, my bad, it's Corrin. Corrin's the other physical character. There's not the best variety of physical characters right now, and Piper being the only anomaly physical character, I don't even think this is the best option on her. I think you might want to go one of the other support sets, or the anomaly set for her, as you want to maximize the damage of her anomaly instead of her actual like raw damage output. So this one's debatable. You could, however, put this on Nekomata and then use Piper to proc anomaly. This would allow you to get the benefit, right? So again, these effects, they work team-wide, so it's like, as long as you're team building effectively, you can make use of them, but I'm not, in my opinion, this isn't the set to go with Nekomata. We have the anomaly set, the Freedom Blues, which increases anomaly proficiency by 30 points, and then whenever you use an EX special on an enemy, reduce the target's anomaly build-up res to that attribute by 20% for 8 seconds. This is going to be the best for any anomaly DPS like Grace, because it's going to give you that proficiency bonus as well as reduce their res to that build-up, which means you can just re-proc it over and over again, right? So this right here, very valuable for any anomaly character, a good set to go for. The Punk set, this one I think is a set to actually avoid. So it increases your attack, and then upon entering combat or switching in, it uses attack increases by 25% for 10 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 20 seconds. I don't like this one because it messes up rotations, and it's also inconsistent. So like half the time you don't even get your attack bonus, right? And sure, 25% is a large amount, right? As we have seen, right, all the stat bonuses at gears in this game have some very powerful effects, with substats being, you know, quite a bit smaller in compensation, right? I don't think this is the way to go because of how other sets give you. And for example, like the Fizz set, that's just 35% increased damage straight up. That's going to outscale this set easily with all the attack buffs that there are in the game right now. because like Sakaku gives one, I'm pretty sure Piper gives one, you know, Lucy, whatever. So yeah, it's gonna be or I might have gotten Piper and Lucy mixed up there, but you understand what I'm saying. This set seems a lot less valuable, especially because of given the fact that there is a crit set in this group that also gives you attack. So this one is definitely not the way to go. Fire set. This is going to be one of the stronger sets in the game and is insanely powerful. Gives you fire damage percent, and whenever you burn an enemy, the equipper's crit rate gets increased by 28%. Excuse me. So first off, we need a fire anomaly character. Secondly, this set is insanely powerful. 28% crit rate. That is insane. This is probably the strongest set overall, and I'm sure there's going to be some people that are going to try to get this set and make it function on other characters. And you know what? I honestly wouldn't blame them if they tried putting it on non-fire characters, because 28% crit for proccing a burn is insanely powerful. Look out for an anomaly fire character, I'll tell you that right now. Anybody that can force proc fire anomaly is going to immediately allow everybody to get a huge boost in crit rate. The ice set, so obviously increases ice damage, increases the basic attack damage and dash attack damage. Whenever you flick, freeze, or shatter, the effect increases by another 20%. So that's also a pretty powerful effect. We have Puffer Electro, which gives you penetration, and whenever you use an ultimate, increases the damage by 20%, and launching an ultimate increases the equipper's attack by 15% as well. This one, I think, is honestly, originally when I first read it, I didn't think it was that good. However, this one gives you a slight bit of defense penetration, that's what pin is, as well as boosting your ultimate and giving you attack. So this really isn't a support set, it's actually a main DPS set, which is kind of weird, but realistically, this is going to be a pretty strong set, right? I know initially looking at it doesn't sound that good, but like, hear me out. Getting a flat 20% damage bonus for your ultimate and then boosting your attack afterwards, someone for like Soldier 11, even though I wouldn't put this on her because she's a fire character, and you're running a fire team regardless with her, I still think this is pretty good. We'll have to see the numbers and do some number crunching to figure out how powerful this defense penetration is on top of everything else, but this seems like a decent set. Although right now, obviously, I would not hunt it, especially if you're early on, because of like, again, we're using these early tuners. This isn't worth it. Pretty much what you're doing is you're just going for your sets. So you're going for the impact set and like ER set for your supports, and then whatever like the crit set for your DPS to get that attack boost. That's basically what you're doing in the early game. You just want to get the set because you're not going to be upgrading these things until you get higher tiers, right? So you're just going off the sets. The next one is increased impact damage, and then obviously for your different various attacks, you get more days build up. This is going to be what you run on like Ambi, for example, and it's going to allow her to stun faster. That's Pog. You've got the Soul Rack, which is a defense set. This one I just think is straight up bad. I'm not going to lie. The two pieces can be good for Ben, but he's going to want to use other 2 pieces or 4 pieces for his general play. You don't really need the 40% damage reduction or whatever, personally, right? And it's a one-time thing every 15 seconds. Not very strong effect. This Swing Jazz gives you 20% energy recharge, very powerful effect, as well as, again, whenever you launch a chain or ultimate, all squad members gain 15% damage for 12 seconds. Passes the same type, do not stack. This is going to be one of the best sets in the game for any support characters. I have it on my arena, for example. It's going to be huge because, again, it's pretty easy to proc this once you get your stunner to stun the enemy, and then boom, everybody gets a damage bonus. Very powerful set. The electric set, as long as the enemy is shocked, the Cobra's attack increases by 28%. Again, can't really tell you how powerful this is. It's going to be strong at any teams that use Grace as an anomaly character, but like I can't really tell you how effective it will be later on. And then arguably the best set that we've got right now is the Woodpecker Electro. Increases your crit rate by 8%, and whenever you trigger a critical hit with a basic attack, dodge, counter, or EX special, the equipper's attack increases by 9%. The buff duration for different skills are calculated separate. So each one of these has an individual attack bonus, which makes this a 27% attack gain whenever you do these various abilities. For someone like Nekomata, who is going to be spamming this, and because your DPS is going to be on field doing damage, you're going to get all these pretty reliably. You'll primarily be stuck with the basic attack and EX special though, so it's only like 18%. But because this gives you crit, at least in my opinion, it's going to be one of the stronger sets. And ideally, right, you run just a 2-piece of like 2-piece fizz, 2-piece attack, 2-piece crit, or you just do a 4-piece of one of them, like the 4-piece crit one, and then 2-piece fizz damage bonus, for example. That's pretty much what you're going to do. And so while I'd love to yap more and more about character gears, I think I'm going to cut the video here. Hopefully this helps you guys understand like the gearing situation in this game. We've got some very powerful sets, right? I've explained to you how the gear works, what you're looking for. Of course, you know, just like Honkai Star Rail, you're going to level these things up to 15, you'll get X number of substats, right? All that stuff. That's pretty much it. As I've already stated, you'll be grinding the stages later on once you do level up to unlock them, and so on. So yeah, hopefully that helps. If you do want to see the substats, it's pretty obvious. You get your penetration, your anomaly, right? Crit, all that stuff. It's not going to be too bad to roll this, right? This is like 10 different stats. It could be worse. Could be worse. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch if you want to see more. I've been Gold Demon, and hopefully this is the end of this video. Jesus, that sounded wrong.